We often tell people, what's it look like to get to 1 million for you? That's a good start, and if that goes well, then it's like, well, the next order of magnitude, how do you get to 10 million? I want to gauge people's ambition, and I want to gauge their grandiosity, and but I want to be really clear that we're both thinking about this. And we kind of live and die by this. In other words, we get in when we think this can happen, we stay in when we think it's still going to happen, and we get out when we don't buy it anymore. One of the things that we really emphasize is the question, who's your doer at scale? And for us, there's 4 answers. There's you, there's lots of NGOs, there's lots of businesses, or there's government. And you is a big business or a big nonprofit. And usually the answer, if you're really serious about this, is at some point you're replicating via others. We like to think of it through the lens of sort of a typical product curve where you have an idea at the beginning and you have impact at scale at the end. And your first step from the idea is sometimes a lengthy R&D to figure out the product, what it is. And then you've got another step to get evidence sufficient to say, hey, we should keep going with this. And then you need to replicate it to become somebody who matters, number 1. And number 2, to further work out exactly the systems you need. And we're really learning that getting the systems you need figured out is important as getting the product figured out, because it's so fundamental to high quality replication. And so when you've done all that, you've got a product that's really ready to scale. And then you got to package that product so somebody else could do it. You got to make it as easy as possible for somebody else to do it. It's easier year to year with an upfront level of due diligence, so that you're able to then create milestones and not have to do a ton of it every year. And it's highly leverageable. In other words, all that restricted funding you're leveraging by filling in the middle. And it creates a much better relationship with the doers. I mean, we've had people who, compared to their total budget, we're giving a tiny amount of money, and we can still sit down with the senior team anytime we want, because that money is really, really important. Mm-hmm. And it's more fun. It's just more fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun to fund an organization to do what they want to do. And then you make sure that they are actually doing what they want to do and not what you want them to do. Because a lot of them just kind of have to suck it up and do what funders want them to do. We are not terribly impressed with organizations that get stuck in that, but we have sympathy for them.